You came back. You came back. You came back. Episode 51 of Inside the Video Store. Welcome. Episode 50 went great, and so many of you watched 5 films as well. So many of you watched 5 films. That was brilliant. The feedback was really, really awesome. Now we just need some more people. Just need some more people. So if you're about near Merseyside over the next few weeks, then give me a shout. Drop on by and we will record your 5 films, which will be really cool. And thanks again to Gaz for being our first victim. He was great, so that's really good news. Yeah, so welcome. What have we got lined up today? Just the usual stuff, really. Nothing remotely exciting. Well, loads of exciting films. I mean, holy cow. But nothing exciting in terms of features. Just the same old stuff, but I think that's the way you like it. So, without further ado, let's crack on. And it's a wicked kind of week. Yeah, it is a wicked kind of week with Wicked, probably one of the most anticipated new releases of the year so far, if not the most anticipated new release of the year so far. I've been asked repeatedly for this, so hence 2 Blu-rays and 2 DVDs. So we'll see how much, see how well this performs. And with the Blu-ray, you also get the sing-along version, which cannot be sniffed at. So yeah, that is Wicked, the film of the week, which everybody is really getting excited about, which is pretty cool. So that's the big one. That's the big one. A couple of other new releases in, all a little bit kind of quirky. We have Rumors, the official motion picture of the G7. Don't think it is. Who we got? Kate Blanchett, and a host of international cast members, including Charles Dance. It sounds absolutely crazy. Says it ricochets between comedy, apocalyptic horror, and swooning soap opera. Rumors follows the leaders of the world's wealthiest democracies as they become lost in the woods. Sounds absolutely wild. This will either be a terrific success or an abject failure. I don't think there's any middle ground for Rumors. So it'll be an interesting one, and with a cast like that, then it's bound to create some kind of following. So we shall see. We shall see how that performs. Zombie apocalypse movies have died down of late, but we have one in this week. We have Carrie-Anne Moss and Frank Grillo in 28 Days Later Meets The Last of Us. Yes, it's Die Alone. In a post-apocalyptic world, a young man must join forces with hardened survivalists during a zombie outbreak. Yeah, I haven't seen one of these for quite some time, and the reviews on this, I mean, I must admit, I've been getting strict. I used to buy everything. I mean, every new release, I used to buy everything. But of late, I've kind of cut loose a few. I think there's a Morgan Freeman one out this week that he maybe appears in for 5 minutes. That's got shocking reviews. So as the B movies, the real bona fide B movies aren't really shifting at the moment, I thought I'm going to be a bit more selective. So, but this looks like a grade above a, should we call it an A- movie? Die Alone. Could be interesting. Also this week, now the latest film from a movie. Speaking of movie, finally, they've announced a date in the UK for The Substance. So that will be coming into here on DVD and Blu-ray on March the 31st. Good. Only, 2 weeks away, just over 2 weeks away. So that's good news, because I've been asked pretty much daily for that film. So that's cool. But yeah, in the meantime, from movie hub, Dahomey, which is kind of a colonialism documentary. It's about some royal treasures from the kingdom of Dahomey that have been in Paris for quite some time, but they're now being returned to their country of origin. And it's about their journey. It looks like a really interesting documentary feature. It's quite a short one. It's only 68 minutes. But yeah, looks pretty pretty good. Also, relatively new, kind of not 2025 new, but still worth slipping into the new release wall. We have the latest from Third Window, and it is a New Religion. Third Window are putting out some amazing films recently. They really are having quite a, I don't want to say revitalization. They did go quiet for a while, but at the moment they're just bringing out hit after hit after hit. It just sounds really bizarre. A Japanese horror film. It's about Miyabi. Her daughter dies. She gets a divorce. She starts working as a call girl. In a meeting with a new customer, he asks her to take a picture of her body. First her spine, then her feet, and after that he begins to photograph her every time they meet. And well, yeah, things spiral from there. It sounds absolutely fascinating. And there's even a short film on here called New Mirrors, which apparently goes some way into explaining the content of New Religion, as it is quite one of those, I don't want to say Lynchian, but I'll say Lynchian films, which leaves more questions than answers, perhaps. So they're the brand new releases that are in. We got, I mean, I'm so impressed with Imprint. They are really becoming one of my go-to labels. And then the latest two from Imprint have just come in this week. I saw this one last night. It's William Wyler's final film. It is The Liberation of L.B. Jones. L.B. standing for Lord Byron Jones. And it's a fascinating film of racial tension. It's about a guy, an undertaker, a wealthy black undertaker, played by Roscoe Lee Brown, who tries to divorce his wife because she's committing adultery with a white policeman. Needless to say that this isn't something that was done in the Deep South 50 years ago, but it's fantastic. Based on a novel by Jesse Hill Ford, who of course had a fascinating life himself. The screenplay is by Sterling Sullivan, who was paid 200 grand to rewrite the screenplay, and it stars, of course, Lee J. Cobb as the lawyer, and it's fantastic. It's a very, very strong film. If you're into 70s classic 70s cinema, then it's brilliant. And of course, it's never been seen in the UK, so thrilled to get that one in. Absolutely thrilled. And secondly, this one is coming out from it's a Deaf Crocodile in the US, which is very cool label. Sadly, I wrote to Deaf Crocodile. I said, is your version of Lifeguard going to be region free? And they said no. So that rules them out. So off to Imprint we go, and we get their own copy of Lifeguard on Blu-ray, which is, of course, Daniel Petrie film, starring the legendary, the iconic Sam Elliott as an aging lifeguard who's forced to examine his career choices after he attends his high school reunion. Kind of sounds like a proto Grosse Pointe Blank, doesn't it? But I'm sure it's not. I'm sure we didn't have Dan Aykroyd as a hitman. Although, any film is enhanced by Dan Aykroyd as a hitman. I just hate it when the sleeve just goes across the plastic boundary. Just very, very important. Gus Van Sant, Drugstore Cowboy, Criterion, dual format, 4K and Blu-ray. Excellent. I haven't seen this film for quite some time. I was really into Gus Van Sant going back in the days of, Last Days and Private Idaho, To Die For, etc., etc. But kind of lost track of what he's been doing in the wake of, I think he did a Matt Damon film around about 2000. So probably 15, 20 years, I haven't really paid much attention to what he's been putting out. But his early stuff is just amazing. So I'm looking forward to going back to watching Drugstore Cowboy because I probably can't remember any of it. So it's a good week of new releases, I reckon. We have a crazy week next. Oh no, not next week isn't the crazy week. It's the week after. That's the crazy end of the month week. But next week we just have the two exploitation classics from Indicator and a Studio Canal vintage classic. So not that much, but you know. Anyway, let's have a look at some on loans, shall we? And what's been going out on loan this week? Again, sound like a broken record. It's been another busy week. Thrilled, to be honest. We've got some really exciting things going on in store. Me, myself, and I. I did a interview for Fangoria magazine over the weekend, so that should be appearing either in the pages of Fangoria or on the Fangoria website in the coming few days, which is very exciting. I mean, Fangoria is kind of the magazine, the go-to magazine as a teenager into horror films. That you kind of flick through the pages in a wide-eyed way, looking at what horrific delights were coming your way. So now to be featured in the pages of Fangoria is quite something. I've just had a great guy, James, who's one of my good customers. He's been doing a project this afternoon for Liverpool John Moores University for his film studies course, and he's been telling me some horror stories. No, the course that the project that he's doing was about the role that someone or something plays in the community. So he chose Snips and the role that Snips plays in its local community, which is great. So he wanted to kind of come and take pictures and track a day in the life of what I do. So that was cool. But yeah, he told me some absolute horror stories about the people on his course. The people that are up there in like this fairly, well-known university, and just their breadth of knowledge. I mean, surely if you're on a film studies course, you would be obsessed with films, wouldn't you? Surely it would be your life. You'd be watching, 2-3 films a day. It'd be, ingesting every possible facet of film history. But the stories that he was telling me are, just it would make you shudder. The lack of knowledge and the lack of breadth and the lack of passion that his fellow people, and he, of course, he comes in and he devours every bit of the store. Unbelievable, really. Just a completely rabid desire for films, 6 films at a time every single week. I mean, it's just insane. But yeah, it's worrying. It's worrying, and I think it's easy for me to say, and it's something I suppose I would say. But I think that streaming is part of the problem with that. When kids are kind of presented with, well, I made the case to him. I said, well, you got to think of it. You got to think of it like your chickens. I said, you, James, you're a free range chicken. You're a free range chicken. You can roam everywhere. You can roam everywhere outside the algorithm, just pecking at this, pecking at Franco, pecking at Rollin, pecking at, Italy. You can go everywhere you want, just, having a bit of everything. But the people you're with in this course, they're not free range. They're battery hens. They're battery hens kept in a tiny little cage. They can't move, can barely shift about from right to left, and they're just force-fed every day. Just force-fed, and they'll just sit there and they'll just consume what they're given. And that's the difference. That's the difference. So don't be a battery hen, people. Don't be a battery hen. Be a free-range chicken. Chickens are good people. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, I've got someone else coming in as well this week to do another article for something else, which is really, really cool. Oh, it's an article about the 5 Films project, which is great. So that should be in a magazine sometime soon. And I've got a little piece in the Daily Mail, the awful Daily Mail, this weekend, where they were lovely enough to ask me my thoughts on streaming. I had nothing to say. Anyway, what's been going on loan this week? Well, let's start off with another rant. I had a lovely young person in last night renting Taxi Driver, and they said that they were watching this with their girlfriend. They're on an absolute Martin Scorsese binge at the moment, which is fantastic. Young people. And I thought, well, we could go down to the video store, but you know, a Taxi Driver is on Prime. Let's watch it on Prime. So they watched it on Prime, which is fine. You know, I'm not a monopoly. I don't expect people who watch films to get everything from here. That's fine. So they watched it on Prime, and they were horrified that in one of the, I forget the specific sequence, but I think it was during the porn theater sequence, that some of the background was pixelated. And of course, in the movie, it isn't. But on Prime Video, it's pixelated out. So much so that when De Niro walks across the screen, his head is actually pixelated as well. I couldn't believe what they were saying to me. I'm going to have to investigate it. Maybe this is well known, the fact that, you know, that is the case with the Prime Video version of Taxi Driver. But if it is true, and I fully expect it to be true, then it is a complete and utter disgrace. And it is a one of the things that we shall all expect in the future once we give these massive corporations license to do whatever they want with our culture. Next up, Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat is out on loan with Mark, which is wonderful. Great film from the amazing Anthony Hickox. If you read the Schlock Pit, please do next week, because Matthew Budrevich interviewed Anthony Hickox before he died, and he got some quotes that we weren't able to print because they were quite inflammatory. But Tony did say during the interview, he said, look, you can print these when I'm dead. And he's dead, so we're going to print them. And it's the story, it's the making of Submerged, the film with Steven Seagal, directed by Anthony Hickox. And there is some quite extraordinary stories in this article. So if you are anywhere near your laptop or mobile phone, which you are because you're watching me, then check out theschlockpit.com in about 7 days' time when our article on Submerged goes up. It is quite wild, to say the least. I meant to include this one last week on 50 greatest films that you need to rent before you die, which is The Last Supper, but for some reason I missed it off my list. And it is a great film, so it's really cool to see someone renting out this week. Brilliant 90s film. Loved it, absolutely loved it. So dark, blackly dark. It's great. More Imprint, more blaxploitation. The Soul of Black Charlie is out. The customer Danny saw the one prior to this, the first film, and he was keen to see the second one. Great to see these Imprint films going out. Surviving the Game is out again. Cool, great pick from Fallon recently. So it's really cool to see other people renting this as well, because it's a great 90s survivalist thriller. Very much in the vein of, you know, that kind of battle royale, most dangerous game thing, etc., etc. High Crime is out on 4K UHD. I emphasize 4K UHD because Jake has rented it, and Jake has just bought a 4K UHD player, which is exciting because I think Jake was a bit reluctant to do so. It's quite interesting this, because I had a guy in this week who found out about the store in some capacity. I don't know where he found out, probably Instagram or something like that. And he came in for a nose, and his nose was based primarily on checking out the 4K offering. I think I'm up to about 95 4K movies at the moment, which is fair. And he said, "Oh well, you know, Lethal Weapon's coming out on 4K UHD, and you're not going to get that in. And you know, how about Blade Runner on 4K UHD, and you know, something else." And throwing sort of very mainstream 4K films at me. And I was kind of thinking, well, I'll be getting none of these on 4K UHD. And there's a reason behind that. And there's a reason when I show off my CLZ database, my movie database, and people say, but I've got more 4K UHDs than Snips. What's going on? It's a very simple reason. The 4K UHD market is for collectors. It is for collectors. Most people who buy 4K UHDs are movie collectors. They're buying it to keep it because it's one of their favorite films, so they want to keep it. 4K UHD isn't really for renters. Because if I got Lethal Weapon on 4K UHD, whoever wants that movie is going to buy it rather than rent it. Where I want to take 4K UHD here, and we will increase it, we'll double it this year to 200. But where I want to take 4K UHD is to get the UHDs that people wouldn't buy. So stuff like High Crime. So what was that? Probably about $40 when it came out from Blue Underground. It's an Italian, whatever you think, and I know you're all film experts, which I admire, but to most people, High Crime is a rather obscure Italian polizioteschi film that very few people are ordinary people, non-cinephiles, are going to blow $40 on, just having a look at that. So stuff like this is really important to get on 4K HD because it's stuff that people wouldn't ordinarily buy, and it's an import as well. So the stuff that I want to get on 4K HD is more the obscure stuff, the rarities, the films that people are reluctant to spend their hard-earned money on initially. But you can rent this for £1.67. Have a look at it and think, well, actually, yeah, I would buy that. And it's a great film. It's an amazing film. It's convinced me. But we're renting the films here that people don't really know about 100%. And that's why we're going into 4K UHD, not to stock the kind of bland, everyday stuff that people would buy anyway, And besides, Lethal Weapon is probably rented out. Lethal Weapon hasn't rented out in probably 15 years. So, why would I get a 4K UHD of that? Well, I can get the 4K UHD of High Crime, which has probably been out probably 8 times this year, or certainly in the last 4 months, which is cool. A great Tony Scott film that I love is The Fan, and there it is. Great to see that going out on loan on Blu-ray from Signal One. Signal One have been pretty quiet lately, haven't they? But this is great. I saw it at the cinema when it came out. I love this film. It didn't get a good reception from the critics, but I think it's great. I think De Niro is fantastic and brilliantly menacing. Good to see Hell Comes to Frogtown going out as well. That was fairly rare for some period of time, but I think Arrow renewed their license on it, and rightly so, because it is a perennial renter with good old Rowdy Roddy Piper. And then finally on the out on loans, we have bestseller Out on Loan with James Woods and Brian Dennehy. What a cast. Directed, of course, by John Flynn. And great film. Haven't seen this in a long time. And even though James Woods is a little bit of a question mark at the moment, it's good to see it going out. It's good. That's a good haul this week. That's a good haul. Okay, let's see what's in the box this week. And it is an eclectic mix of what's in the box. It's a bizarre mix of what's in the box. Yeah, let's have a look. Well, first up is a very exciting film. Culture Shock is back. Culture Shock is back. We thought they would never return. They finished off with a Richard Goodbye film, and they're back with a Richard Goodbye film. Say hello, Richard Goodbye. Yeah, Assault to the Party Nerds is here. I love this film. I've written an article about it on the Schlock Pit many years ago. And Richard Goodbye is a fairly cool guy. He's a talented musician. And he did the soundtrack for this as well with his band, The Chicks. And it's just great. Assault of the Party Nerds is Linnea Quigley. And it just is a typically nerdy thing that's just brilliant. It is a spin on Revenge of the Nerds, I guess, with a bit of Animal House in it. But it's great fun, and he is just, he hams it up. He really does ham it up to his full capacity. But yeah, that's good. I'm pleased that that's in. It's good fun. Oh, tired. Excuse me. I got invited a couple of weeks back by an independent filmmaker to see if I would be kind enough to stock his films in store, and I said yes. Because yeah, we know why not? We like diversity here. We like independent filmmakers. And I said yes. What have you got for me? And he said, "Well, I have Death Toilet." And I said, "Oh, great, thank you." Yes, he said, "I have Death Toilet 2, number 2. I have Death Toilet 3. I have Death Toilet 4, and I have Death Toilet 5." So yes, we have Death Toilet 1 to 5 on DVD. I mean, this is low budget stuff. Well, the first Death Toilet, we have a sleeve printed on paper, and we have a DVD-R with Death Toilet. So, but you know, who cares? The fact that it is that some guy is going out with not much money and making feature films. They're all on Tubi, and they're probably all on Prime, I would have guessed. So yeah, why not? It might not come with the finesse of a lushly slip-covered Blu-ray, but hey, that's life. But at least we have Death Toilet 1 to 5 on DVD. Very cool indeed. Thank you, Evan. I appreciate it. They will be. I will find a place for them. And don't stay in the toilet. Hey. Get a box in this week from Germany, filled with lots of exciting stuff. Well, first of all, let me pick out the odd one out. Is it MVM? I think so. Probably not. WMM. I knew it was some kind of 3-lettered thing. I've been putting out a load of cool 90s thrillers, a couple of Fred Olen Ray films, a few Don Wilson films, and their latest is the wonderful. I mean, what a cast! We have Cynthia Rothrock, we have Fred Williamson, and we have Robert Forster in Night Vision. Brilliant. Directed by Jill Bettman. It's great. It's produced by Fred Williamson for his Po' Boy production company. This was about 96, 97, I think. I think Forster made it just prior to Jackie Brown. But it's not a bad little thriller. It's not a bad little straight-to-video thriller that's well worth a look. That is Night Vision. The rest of this box are Asylum movies. I make no apology. I love the Asylum. They are the perfect kind of thing to stick on first thing in the morning when you're barely awake and trying to ingest as much coffee as possible. And they're perfect for late at night. When you've watched one film and you haven't really got it in you to watch another that you've got to focus on. I love to stick an Asylum on, maybe 12:30 or midnight, and then just kind of, wind down to it, because they're the perfect winding down films. Completely non-taxing on the brain, but they're entertaining. Technically, they're great. Technically, they are all. I know you'll say about the CGI, yes, but they have a shine to them. They have a brightness. They're well shot. They're crisp. They're easy on the eye. Yeah, the acting isn't great. Yeah, the CGI is dodgy. Yeah, the storyline is non-existent. But they're entertaining. They are entertaining. So what do we got in the Asylum box? I've just extended the Asylum section, you see. I should really show you that. I won't. But, I will do it on the next tour, because we've got a few little tweaks to do. We have Planet Quake. Planet Quake. I think it might be about a quake for the planet. So that's that. We have War of the Worlds 3. Annihilation. I think, was this Annihilation? Yeah, Annihilation. Starring William Baldwin. Of course, the first War of the Worlds movie that Asylum did was 2005. Now, you've got to think to yourself that War of the Worlds, it was called Invasion in the UK. War of the Worlds, it was released to coincide with the Steven Spielberg film. And it sold 250,000 copies to Blockbuster alone. This is a film that cost peanuts. starring C. Thomas Howell, and it sold 250,000 copies to Blockbuster alone. Insane numbers. They did a sequel that Thomas Howell directed himself in 2008, and then 13 years later, they made a third film called Annihilation with William Baldwin, who also features in War of the Worlds 4, which is due out on Blu-ray in about 2 weeks' time. So yeah, hey, brace yourself for that one. Next up, I had these on DVD, but I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to see these movies in 1080p. Vitally important to do so. Here's, of course, Megalodon and Megalodon Rising, aka Megalodon 2. So yeah, pleased to get those upgraded. Essential, essential. All, of course, because Megalodon 3 is now out on Blu-ray. Megalodon 3, The Frenzy, with Eric Roberts. It's directed by Brendan Patrizio. And I looked, I was watching the film the other day, and because you don't have to concentrate too much, because it's not that intricate. I was on Instagram. I thought, let's just check if Brendan Patrizio has an Instagram profile, and he has. And I thought, that can't be him. That can't be him. And I checked him out on IMDb, and I said, that is him. And he looks probably 25. But that's the great thing about the Asylum, because the Asylum really do promote people from within and give incredibly young people the ability and the trust to make movies, which is great. No one else is doing that these days. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, Eric Roberts stars in this alongside Caroline Williams from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Eric Roberts last year made 78 movies. He currently has 91 movies in production. He must make 2 movies per week, and he must shoot 1 or 2 days on each movie. It's frightening. I think on this he's reading some of his lines off a cue card. But if you're making 2 movies a week, what time do you have to learn your lines? We have Alien Space Battle, aka Attack on Titan, which is Michael Paré. It is Michael Paré. Yeah, that's that. We have Battle for Pandora, which, believe it or not, isn't about the Christmas rush to buy charms and jewelry. It is actually about the battle for a planet with the late Tom Sizemore, who looks suitably out of it. In this Battle for Pandora, America is Sinking. I'll leave that one there for you. We have Blind Waters, another shark movie, because Asylum loves their shark movies. This one is directed by Anthony C. Ferrante, the director of many, many, if not all, of the Sharknado movies. We have The Exorcists. The Exorcists. With Doug Bradley, no less. Doug Bradley, star of Hellraiser 1 to 6. He is the star of Hellraiser 1 to 8, but obviously, for good reason, they've missed out 7 and 8. I love this. I love Hellraiser 7 and 8, actually. So, that was directed by Jose Prendes, who is actually one of the better Asylum directors. He did a good Haunted House movie good few years back now. I forget the title. Haunting at Whaley House, is it? I forget. But it's good. One of my favorite Asylum movies of recent years is Zombies. It's great fun. Just zombies in a zoo, but the animals are zombies. And it's great fun. It's great fun. You need to see zombie porcupines. You really do. Until you see those, you haven't lived. But I wanted to see Zombies 2, obviously. And it was great fun. I watched that Sunday morning. Perfect Sunday morning. Who wouldn't want zombie animals on a Sunday morning? Perfect. And finally, now brace yourselves, but this is a really good film. If this film was out in 1995 with Lorenzo Lamas and Michael Madsen, this would be a perennial renter at the video store. As it is, it's 2025, and we have an aging Michael Madsen and an aging Lorenzo Lamas. But it is a very well put together action film. I don't see many original action movies from the Asylum. They do all tend to be very sort of derivative films. But this was great. Just a really good, guy gets revenge sort of thing. It's great. Great action sequences. Lorenzo Lamas is a brilliant villain. and thoroughly enjoyed that. It was a great movie. I liked that a great deal. So yeah, very cool. So really thrilled to have that next wave of 11 Asylum movies. Got another 11 coming in at the end of the month. I'm sure you can barely contain yourselves to wait for those to come in. But still. Okie dokie, let's have a look at some comments. Let's see, loads of comments this week. Loads of comments. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. Not letting me in. Not letting me in. What do we got? Ah, yeah. CJ, you realize you're hardwired to Snips Movies when Dave states he hasn't seen Gladiator 2? But if you realize that if it had been Glad He Ate Her 2, Dave would not only have seen it, but he would be on commentary duties for the home video release. This is true. This is true. But yeah, Gladiator 2, I just can't do it. Funny enough, the 4K guy that I mentioned before, he said about Gladiator on 4K or Gladiator 2 on 4K. I'm just like, well, to be honest, I haven't even seen Gladiator, so I couldn't really be asked getting it on 4K. And I think he had to prop himself up to save himself collapsing. And I don't do this for, I'm not a contrarian who deliberately avoids big films. They just don't interest me. Prepare to Die interests me because it won't have an audience. And I like to see that having an audience. So I'd rather spend time watching that and talking about it than talking about Gladiator 2, which has got a built-in audience ready for it. It doesn't need any help. Prepare to Die needs a bit of help. Jenna Fish, congrats on the 50th show. I've been loving this series and I can't wait to check out the new Sunday series. Thank you, Jonah Fish. I'm hoping it's going to be a Sunday series, but it might be more kind of one will pop up when, one happens. Congratulations on hitting 50, says Big Al. Look forward to the next 50. I do like the idea of having people on talking and picking films. Yeah, I think it should be good fun, providing people come forward. I don't have loads of people getting in touch initially, but it's been a little bit quiet over the last few days. No one getting in touch, although I am doing someone on Saturday night, aren't I? Yes, I'm doing Nicholas on Saturday night, who said he's got some interesting picks, so that'll be the next episode, I think, but it should be good. Cam McLaughlin says, I hope the person enjoyed their trip to LA to see Dark Angel. I got to see a pristine original 35mm print in Dorset. Wow, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. What else we got there? Lee Mon. Starlet, Trees Lounge, The Last Movie Star. Some great picks in those 50 movies that need more love. Congratulations on 50 episodes. Here's to 50 more. Yeah, there's a few people got in touch that mentioned about the films. I think they are. I mean, it's a tabloid headline, 50 films to rent before you die. But there's so much stuff in here. There's so much stuff in here that doesn't get touched because it's impossible. You got 17,000 films. You can't recommend everything all the time, and a lot of the time things get left behind and kind of hidden away, and you forget about stuff. So it's a great opportunity to promote 50 films that I find personally really interesting. And it's good that some of you guys are going to check them out as well. Graham Reed said, another great episode. I really enjoyed it. Another film I recommended was The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. Although Graham thought it might be The Three Funerals of Eric Estrada. Which, to be honest, yeah, I agree, Graham. I would love to see that. Not, I'm not calling for the death of Eric Estrada because, I'm sure he hasn't had his chips yet. Oof. Del Bongo, 1,000. Oh yeah, 1,000 subscribers. We have 1,000 subscribers already. Crazy. We're less than a year old. I think we're a year old in 3 days, which is Saturday. Saturday is the year anniversary of Inside the Video Store, and we have 1,000 subscribers already. That's incredible. And 1,000 subscribers means I can start earning money from YouTube, and you can start having, adverts pop up. Like now, there can be an advert for, I don't know, um, just for men, or, you know, um, chappy for dogs, and things like that. Things completely unconnected to Snips. So we would hate that, wouldn't we? So let's have no adverts and let's earn no money. That seems like a far better alternative. Rod Gray says, love the show tonight, Dave. Great call on Beautiful Girls. Correct. No one ever remembers it, and it was fantastic. Trees Lounge as well, sadly overlooked. I picked a copy of the hard to find California Suite today in a charity shop. Italian DVD plays in English. That's really exciting because I've been asked for California Suite for quite some time. So to know there's an Italian DVD out there that plays in English, I think I may well hunt that down. Dean Everest says 50 episodes in, and I'm honored to say I've been here since episode 1. Episode 1. So long ago. But that's great fun. That's brilliant. I mean, just for the sheer, you should take a holiday, Dean, to be honest. Because having to put it with me every single week must be exhausting. But thank you for watching. It's really, really appreciated. Some great films added to the never-ending watch list from your 50 selection. Question: as you mentioned in the indie section, there were some faded spines. Is there anything you can do to combat this? Tinted windows, perhaps? Yeah, it's a funny one. I mean, there is just a small section which kind of catches the sun, that has a few faded spines. I don't mind it so much personally, but to be honest, I think most of that fading, we didn't used to have roller blinds. There was never roller blinds here. I installed them 2 years ago because I used to get stressed going home and it felt the place felt so open. Every shop on this block of shops has roller blinds. We're the only ones not to have roller blinds, and it just felt exposed. Especially, I mean, most people walking by think, oh, it's just a junk shop with DVDs that nobody wants. But when you know what's here, you get nervous. So we have steel shutters now, which is important. But because those steel shutters don't come up until 10 a.m. when I open, it means that the main sunlight of the day, sort of where the sun rises between like 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. and it hits the front of the shop, they don't get hit by the sun. So I think now, because the contact with the sun is more limited than it used to be, I think I should be okay in terms of faded spines, but we'll see. Always keeping an eye on it, but should be okay. John Young says, thanks for answering my questions. Enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, John. Neil Davis, Bright Lights, Big City is my favorite Michael J. Fox movie. A darker movie, but a very 80s intro. Yeah, Bright Lights, Big City, funnily enough, just rented out a few days ago, and The Hard Way has rented out again, I think last night or the night before. So yeah, it's a Michael J. Fox frenzy at Snips at the moment. James is saying he's bought several DVDs lately, including Babe in the Basket. There you go, Tom. There's a sale for you, which is cool. Corey says the stunt rock really rocks, and yeah, I can't wait to watch that. I love Brian Trenchard Smith, such an amazing director. Indie Fans from Sofa Cinema says, fantastic. I do watch the Criterion Closet, but I find a lot of repetition on there. Plus, the collection is quite limited compared to what it was back in the Laserdisc era. It's a fair point. Megalopolis was an interesting folly, but certainly a huge disappointment. It has rented out. So I'm intrigued to see what people think. And Indie Phantom says he loves Carrie Vera. Yeah, who doesn't? And Vivid, yeah, just a crazy film. He also says, hell yeah, on The Rules of Attraction. The Rules of Attraction is just amazing. I think it's Roger Avery's best film. And Indie Phantom says he actually had a comment, a defense posted in film comment about Rules of Attraction because he stood up for it and defended it. Why not? Well done. Amy Williamson says, very surprised you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies. They're probably my all-time favorites ever. definitely should give them a go. Extended editions, though, only. Yeah, that's 12 hours. That's 12 hours. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do that for 12 hours. Mark was in on Tuesday saying, you've got to do this. Just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. Just 12 hours. Think how many 75-minute full moon films I could see in that time. Well, 9. You know, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Just, no. Maybe pin me down like Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange and give me those eye things and feed it into my brain. Maureen says, how well are films from Radiance renting? They're doing all right, Maureen. We have the cat out at the moment. The cat is out of the bag. There we go. The cat is out on loan, which is cool. Yeah, so they're going out gently. Gently does it, really. You know, everything here, there's no instant wins. There's no immediate success. Everything here, whenever you get it, it gradually earns its money over time, be it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. It doesn't matter. There's no pressure on anything to bring its money back in. Doesn't matter. So yeah, they will earn their keep in good time. But at the moment, it's just a case of buying them, keeping them, and making them available for people to rent. And finally, I think Kyle says, but do people rent Brawl in Cell Block 99, which I think is Zala's best film to date? Yes, it is Zala's best film to date. Probably. You might be right there, Kyle. And yeah, slightly more than Concrete, but I think those whole 3 films could do with a bit more love. Those whole 3. So has he done anything since Cell Block 99? I don't know. I need to look at that. But yeah, they could do with a bit more love, to be honest. 3 great films from a really interesting filmmaker. So yeah, they could do with more attention. Right. Well, I think we're pretty much all done here, which is great. Nothing more to say. I think I've droned on for far too long. So much so the camera broke down halfway, and we had to do a segment again. But never mind. I think the camera just got bored and fell asleep. Quite probably. So what am I going to watch tonight? I don't know. I think I might take home Assault of the Party Nerds, even though I only saw it about 2 or 3 years ago. I think it might be time to watch it again. Yeah, it sounds like a fun evening. But thank you for watching anyway. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in your droves to see the 50th episode. I'm glad it lived up to your expectations. Keep your ideas coming. Keep your questions coming. Always happy to answer anything you want. It will always be answered honestly. And yeah, let's look forward to some new films coming. We have a delivery coming in on Thursday or Friday from Warner Archive in America, which has some of their new releases, which look great. What do you think of the new announcements? They look amazing, don't they? What are they going to? They got Wacky Racers coming out, and also blaxploitation film 3 the Hard Way. I mean, wow, that's going to be great on Blu-ray. A couple of noirs as well, like Side Street. So April for Warner Archive is looking very tasty. But we've got the I've got the Feb stuff coming in on Thursday, Friday, which is exciting. I've also got, hopefully, Vinegar Syndrome should be winging its way over here for next week as well. So that's good news. And a couple more orders outstanding too. We've got the Brividio Giallo set from Cauldron. Hopefully that should start shipping in a few weeks' time. And also a few more bits. I think Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter is due in at Terrorvision this week. So hopefully that should ship by the weekend. So lots of good stuff on the horizon. But in the meantime, let's go rent some movies. And yeah, I'll see you in 7 days' time.